Okay, namaste and good evening, everyone. Welcome to day 3 of this karma workshop. And we are going to continue with from where we left yesterday. We went through the sanchit karma, the cumulative, and then the prarabdha, which is the fruit of our actions. And today is the kriyaman karma. I just wrote it down. So this is the spelling of it. The third one in English is written in the bracket. So which is the current karma, running karma, we can say, which is currently running in our lives day to day. Everyone got that? Okay. Now, Kriyaman is the current karma that we perform every day, every moment of the day. It could be good, bad, and we perform this through our thoughts, through our words and actions. Now, at the end of this life, this Kriyaman karma will merge into the first, the warehouse, the reservoir, the Sanchit karma. So, whatever we do now, uh, regardless of the nature of what we do in this life, will get collected in the first, the Sanchit karma. And from there again, a scoop will be taken out, a mixed bag of treats, and when we are born again, it will be given to us. So that scoop might contain something from this life as well, may not contain, we don't know. Because when we take a new birth, we always forget. As soon as a soul enters the body, it forgets everything. But when the soul is without the body, it has the recordings of all its births, all the births. So it knows everything. But in order, when the time for expression comes, when it enters the body, takes birth, that's when there is no memory. Only the memory of the current running birth is there. So Kriyaman karma is the karma that we perform in every day-to-day life in this birth. And this karma is becoming going to create the future and will also get merged into the Sanchit karma, which is the reservoir, the reserve or the pool of all the karmas in all the multiple births we have so far taken. Okay. Now, this Kriyaman karma is responsible and it contributes to the growing pile of the Sanchit karma. This is the karma that contributes to the Sanchit karma, to the warehouse. Okay. Next one will be Agami. I'm going to write the English name for it and then I'm going to show you that. Agami is the future karma. All right, the fourth and the last one is the Agami. Agami means something as the one that we have not seen, and it is the future karma. Now, how this works? It is created by the thoughts, words, and actions, but for future. And how it works is like there is a saying, be careful what you wish for. Must have heard that, right? All of us? So this is what it means. Because whatever you are wishing for, it may not come true in this birth, but then it again gets collected and it becomes your future for the next birth. And if it is not supposed to be the right away next birth, then it again gets collected in the pool of the Sanchit karma. So it could be a simple desire, maybe to visit a country or a place. It could be as little as working in a particular profession. It could be maybe I want to own a mansion, right? And I don't earn enough, but I still have that desire to own a mansion. So something like this. And then the more we give our energy to that thought, the more we are going to solidify that into a karmic action, karmic account. And then it either gets carried to the next birth, or it is going to be found in that warehouse, which is the Sanchit karma. Okay. See, when we have a desire or we are longing for something, a person, any person, and we don't know when the last moment will be. So, and we keep thinking about that unfulfilled wish or desire that we have. And if the last moment is now, and I'm thinking of that, I will definitely carry that desire to the next birth because I died with that desire in my mind, not anything else. So that has a very strong, this has a very strong reason of getting carried to the next birth. If it is unfulfilled, it might make me unhappy in the next birth. So when the child is born, then the child keeps crying for no reason, is cranky, or maybe identifies that place, or maybe he or she is born in that particular place where in the previous birth they were wishing they wanted to visit. So it's a very strong way of the universe to fulfill the desires, the future desires. Okay, so that's agami. So now we have four types of karma. We've already done those. Now I'm going to show you something how they are all interconnected, right? So this is a loop which is just taking place all the time. And a human being cannot get out of this loop. So the present karma will become the past, the next moment, right? And the future, which is the agami that we just read about, will become the present, along with the present moment becoming the past. So the past, future, and present are merged together all the time. We always think, oh, the future is yet to come. It is always coming every moment. The future is there. So this loop will tell us how there is no difference between the past, present, and future. They're all the same. And we keep revolving. We are just entangled in this karmic loop, all human beings. Okay, any questions? We are done with the types of karma, and then we'll go over to the next topic.
Rupa, can we change any of these karma, like any one of those four?
We talked about that yesterday. There is only one way, the prarabdha, which is the fruit of the second karma, which is the fruit of our doings. It could be present doings or the past. There is only one, and that is through divine intervention.
Okay.
Through very strong faith and prayers. There is no power in the universe except the divine who can lessen the burden of our karmas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And then we will be talking about, when we talk about how I can free myself or lessen, there are some some methods as human beings, as in human body, which we can definitely practice. And this will, yes, this will lessen the wrath of the karma if we are suffering in any way. So we are going to talk about that next. Okay. But if you really want to get, this will just lessen or change the face of what we are going through. But if we really want to get rid of it and not face it again, that's only divine intervention. That's the only way we have. And here comes the surrender part that Martha was just talking about. And that we will take up tomorrow. So remember your question, Tara, and we will
Yes.
touch more on it tomorrow in a
Okay,
detailed.
thanks.
Yeah. Okay, no question. So let's move on to the next one. How do I free myself from the four types of karma? So, free myself means how to lessen, how to limit them, and even sometimes clear the burden or the pile of karma. It all depends on the severity of the karma. So, one is become conscious. Number one is to become conscious of the choice of your thoughts, words, and actions. Because this is how the karma is created through thoughts, words, and actions. So when we choose our thoughts, words, and actions, and we are very alert and aware and conscious of what is coming out of our mouth and how we are acting or doing our daily deeds and how we think. We might say, I'm thinking nobody is going to find this out, but as we discussed yesterday, there is that universal recording going on all the time. It is going to catch the thoughts, even if no one beside you will come to know of it, but that universal recording, it has already gone into that recording. So become conscious and make good choices in your thoughts, words, and actions. And this will not create more karma with people around you. Okay. Second is mindful. Again, this is a kind of being conscious in daily activities and in your interactions with others. Third is pay off your debts, whether it is a physical debt, something in terms of money, or any debt. Somebody has shown you some kindness or whatever kind of a favor or uh, drove you somewhere when you were really in need of a driver. It's a debt, right? So pay off your debts in whichever way you can. And next is do not treat anyone with negativity. Do not hurt anyone's feelings, right? Do not make promises that you have no intention of keeping. And do not leave any issues unresolved with people. If you cannot talk to them to resolve it, if they are not ready to listen to you in any way, it could be an ego issue, it could be anything. Resolve it through meditation. Okay? Ask for forgiveness, forgive yourself, forgive them, and then again surrender, which we will talk about tomorrow. And then be careful and be content. Uh, these two choices, if you make every day, will go a long way in helping you to reduce the current karma. All this is for the current karma. Even the suffering, if it is coming from the past, is currently your current karma, right? So we are talking about the current one. Tara's question was whether we can ever be free of all types of karma. Right, Tara? That was your question?
Yes, yes, Rupa. I was asking that question. Yes.
That is only possible through divine intervention, but this is how this cycle is made, right? As long as a soul will remain connected to a body, it has to do something through thoughts, words, and actions, right? And any kind of action is karma. So we cannot get out of this web ever, but yes, we can make it a beautiful one. The journey can be made beautiful. So our every birth is very, very comfortable and very, very pure and fulfilled. We can do that. And that what we are talking about now. For that, we can take these steps. Be conscious, be mindful, always remain mindful what you are talking, what type of words are coming out of the mouth, and then treat people with the positivity, don't hurt their feelings, and no issues unresolved, pay off your debts. Now, careful and content. Careful with your efforts and content with the results. No questions, no whining, no crying. Why is this happening to me? This is a sign of discontent. So, careful means you are careful, conscious, mindful, and content, whatever happens, whether you like it or not. We are still content with what has happened, right? This will cause very less disturbance in the current life. These two virtues, careful and content. Now, check your reactions, especially the chain reactions when we are in an argument, right? One says something and the other has to reply to it, and then the first one says again and again and again. That's a chain reaction, and that goes really deep into a karmic account with that person. So avoid reactions and avoid carrying the mistakes of others in your mind. They committed a mistake and you are thinking about it. Maria, this might pertain to your question that you asked yesterday. So somebody commits a mistake and we are keeping in our mind and carrying it around in our lives will create another big karmic account with that person. So it's very important that we take care of that. Okay? And even to mention and keep mentioning it either in your mind or otherwise will also create another set of account. Okay. Now, doership. Doership means that I am the one who is doing it. The moment we quit that, we can free ourselves of the karmic bondage. Because I have done this, I own this, is a sign of big human ego, right? That I part is just ego, nothing else. So when we, again, this is a part of surrender. We will take this up again tomorrow. So not owning anything, even if it is your mistake, just accept and surrender. So you have committed the mistake and you are going to just separate yourself from that by surrendering it. So doership should be quitted in order to lessen the suffering of your karmas. This will be more uh, understandable tomorrow when we take up the surrender part. But just remember, I will pick this point again tomorrow. Doership. Okay. that I am the one who is doing this. That I part and the ego part has a big role to play in increasing the burden of the karmas. All right. Any questions? No. Now, please remember, law of karma applies when we are not surrendered. Okay, very important to know this. And we are not surrendered to the divine. Again, this also involves doership that I just talked about. When we surrender, law of karma is no longer applicable. Law of grace will apply then. Okay? And this law of grace is going to burn and wash away all the sufferings, all the karmas of that person. So, Tara, this is also the divine intervention, surrendering. Okay? The law of karma stops when we surrender, and then the law of grace begins. And with the law of grace, grace is always coming from the divine, not from a human being. So, with this law of grace, the karma is washed away.
Okay.
So, these are the few things how we can lessen or limit the burden of our past karmas that we are experiencing now in this birth. Okay? All right. Before I move to today's topic, any questions?
The law of grace, is that also when you start recognizing gratitude in your life for different things?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
So just a comment. So let's say monks and nuns, so they are living in the law of grace.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Right. We don't have to be in a place like this to have this blessing of law of grace. Even living a normal life like we do, all of us, a family life, we can still earn this grace.
Of course. And I understand that. I was just thinking when you were talking about the law of grace, that came to my mind.
Yeah, it is an individual thing, whether or not we are monks or not. It doesn't matter, right? What we are in this birth is due to something which is coming from the past. But whether we are eligible for the law of grace will depend on what we are doing now in this birth. Okay?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Anybody else? Questions? All right. Let's move on to today's topic, laws of karma. There are 12 of them. The first one is the one which is the most important, and the rest of them are somehow interrelated to the first one. So we can just breeze through them. So the first one, these laws of karma are a kind of guidelines and a kind of roadmap for us to follow in our daily lives. Okay. So now karma is not a punishment. First of all, we must clarify this and we must understand this. It is just a philosophy and a truth which shows us how to live a very fulfilled life. And when we are conscious of this, we become the best version of ourselves. And this is what it is teaching us all the time. So it is not a punishment, first of all. It also tells us that the future is not set in stone. We can always change it by the choices we will make today. And that is called free will, which we talked about yesterday, right? So this is all karma is telling us how we can live a fulfilled life, a beautiful life, and how we can become the best version of ourselves. and how we are able to change our karmas. So the first law is the great law. It's called the great law of karma. It's the most important, the law of cause and effect. Cause and effect is like you sow and then you reap. The sowing is the cause, the seed, and effect is the reaping part, which is the tree which comes out of the seed. Okay? And we sow through our thoughts, words, and actions every day. So the bottom line of the crux of this law is if you want peace around you, just be peaceful first. Sow the seed of peace yourself, and then you will reap peace. If you want love, just be loving yourself. So cause and effect. There will be no effect without a cause. And when there is a cause, there has to be an effect. There will always be a result. And the cause is karma, effect is the result of the karmas through thoughts, words, and actions. Law of creation is the next one. This tells us that life doesn't happen to us just like that. Okay, nothing is magically happening and nothing will magically happen. We have to take an action always in order to get something. And so when we take an action, we become a co-creator along with the creation, because we are creating that for ourselves. We are taking some steps. We are making some effort if we want something. So it doesn't magically falls in your plate. We have to make an effort for it. That is the law of creation. You are creating yourself for future. And for this, if you want something in your life, you want to create something in your life, there has to be enough space for that thing to fit in. But if we are filled with the past, we have no space for new things to happen. So we do want to release the past, our past and others' past, maybe if we are carrying it, in order to create space for the thing that you want. So we are creating again. We are releasing on one hand, and then we are making an effort to create something else for ourselves. And that is the law of creation. Law of humility. Humility, we must be humble enough to accept that the current reality is the result of my past actions. Not blame it on others. When we become humble, that's when we begin to dissolve that suffering. The biggest part is to accept. We don't accept. We try to put it on others, right? Because of this has happened. So that is the law of humility. Law of growth. It is telling us that growth always begins from us. It begins within us. Now, growth has to be personal, and real change is called personal growth. And this personal growth will only happen, and it will only begin with what we have control over, and that is only ourselves. We only have control over ourselves, not others. If we spend time in controlling other people and things around us, there will be no growth. No real change will happen. We will get more entangled in the karmic cycle. This is what the law of growth tells us. And the things that we cannot control, we just have to accept them to be at peace. So the only thing that we can control is ourselves. So spending time in controlling and trying to change others is just wasting the life. It is their responsibility. I am my responsibility. Which brings me to the next law, law of responsibility. Again, it is a reminder to own, to take responsibility what happens to you in this life, and take the responsibility so you don't look outwards for the cause of your problems. Okay? We are all the products of the choices we have made. Now, coming to the next one, law of connection. Everything is connected. The past, the present, the future. And we can understand this through this loop, by this loop that I already showed you. So everything is connected, the past, the present, and the future. They are not separate. We are creating the future right now, and this future will become present very soon, and this present will become past at the same time. So they are just moving together. So the moment is now. What we talked about yesterday, if we want to make a change, it is just now. Coming to the next one, law of focus. Focusing on too many things at a time will slow us down. It will also lead us to frustration. So this law says concentrate on one thing at a time and focus on the higher values in life, like love, like peace, like patience. And when your focus is on the higher values, you will be less consumed by the lower feelings like anger and greed and hurriedness and panicking. These are the lower values in life. The higher ones are love, peace, patience, staying strong, kindness. So it depends on where our focus is. The next one is law of giving and hospitality. The best way to receive is to give. This is what this law tells us. And when we give, we deepen our spiritual power. We grow spiritually when we are giving without expectations. Next law, law of here and now. We already talked about this yesterday, the power of now. Embrace the present moment. And if we are too focused on the past events, we will keep reliving them over and over again. And then we will keep entangling ourselves more and more into that. So we have to let go the thoughts, the behaviors of our thoughts and behaviors and others' thoughts and behaviors as well. So we can focus in the now. This is what this law means. Law of change is taking steps to bring a change in the current way of life. If we don't change the current way of life, this same cycle is going to repeat again. So if there is anything we want to change, we don't like, we are not comfortable with, we need to change it now. So when the cycle repeats again, what we change now will get repeated. Otherwise, what it's already repeating will get repeated again. So that's the law of change. Law of patience and reward. This is the sow and reap, the cause and effect. We have to be patient, very consistent in our actions, or whatever we are we are doing in our current life. Any kind of hurriedness, any impatience to enjoy the fruits of our actions will inspire us to give up too quickly. So be patient and keep doing. If you think that's the best thing you can do in this life, keep doing it. And then ultimately the fruits will come. That's the law of patience and reward. And the last one is law of inspiration and significance. So as we know, this is a world stage. We are all playing our parts. We all have something to contribute to this world. It may seem small and insignificant to us, but it can make a huge, enormous difference in somebody's life. So whatever your skills are, whatever your talents are, always try to share with others. Because that may be the role of your life, this life. So those are the laws of karma. The first one is the most important, and in some ways it is covering everything, but it's always good to know all of them.
Rupa,
Yes,
the 12th, the last one, the law of inspiration and what was that?
significance.
Significance.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
But okay, any questions or anything you want me to repeat that you have missed?
Sorry, Rupa, can you go quickly just into the laws? Because I seem to have more than 10. So
We have 12.
just say the name of each law, if you don't mind.
Sure. First is the great law, the law of cause and effect. Then we have law of creation. We are the co-creators. Law of humility. Fourth is the law of growth, law of responsibility, and law of connection, law of focus, law of giving and hospitality, law of here and now, law of change, patience and reward, and law of inspiration and significance.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Attention. So whatever karma is being created in any way, the intention matters.
Mhm.
Intention is the baseline. Okay. The superpower, the divine, always looks at the intention of the karma. It may seem negative to other people, but only on the heart of that person, only that person knows what the real intention behind his or her action was. And that is only known to the divine, the universal recording. All right. Any other questions? Thank you, Maria. That was a good one.
Yeah. Rupa, couldn't the person know the intention as well as the divine if they're conscious about why they're doing something?
It is their responsibility to know their intention.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the law of responsibility.
Yeah.
They are responsible for their intentions and their actions.
Not everybody can do that because they're not conscious.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, everyone. Any more questions? Wonderful. So we are going to pause here today, and tomorrow will be the last day for this workshop. We will go over a list of things that cause karma. So there are again about 12 of them. And we will also talk about surrender. We will describe surrender and what it means in spiritual terms. Okay?
Okay.
All right, everyone. Thank you very much. Namaste. And I
Namaste.
appreciate your time.
Namaste.
Have a
Thank
good
you, Rupa.
Thank you, Rupa.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Rupa.